It's officially good afternoon as we welcome you into the EKU Game Day Show here right outside of Roy Kidd Stadium in C.G. Bank Field. Michael Watkins along with Howard Miller and Cuz. A big one today. It's homecoming. Homecoming to you, homecoming to I, as we've come back together to celebrate not only EKU football, but Eastern Kentucky University and what all it means to us. And a big day today as the Colonels welcome in the number 3 ranked team in the country, Tarleton State.
Big day. It's a big day all around. I mean, not only for EKU football, for the university, but to our left, we can see what it all means to a lot of these guys that have come back to celebrate being with their former classmates, teammates, coaches, the whole setup. So it's a day that's filled with a big challenge. Yeah,
a big challenge after a loss last week on the road to North Alabama. That's the bad news. Good news is we've won 10 straight here on this home field. Of course, last time we were here just 2 weeks ago, knocking off number 15 at the time, Austin Peay. 34-20 the score in that one. And today, heavy underdogs at home on homecoming. And obviously, when you're playing a team that is as balanced and as high potent as Tarleton State is, I mean, they've got 40 points in almost every single game this year. What a team that is coming into Richmond. It's a tough challenge, but as Waltwell said this week in the press conference, what a better opportunity to have than to have this opportunity to play this team on homecoming after a loss like that last week. It's all in front of the Colonels today, but they've got to take care of business once again on their home turf.
You know, everything that these guys come in early in the summer and work toward, all of the weightlifting, the running, everything that they do boils down to situations like this. Okay, in challenging circumstances like we have before us today, who are we?
Yeah.
When we reach as deep as we can into who and what we are made of, now is the time to demonstrate that the score, the rankings, and all of that doesn't matter. We are the Colonels.
Yeah.
And now is the time to reach and get that which makes up each and every individual on this team, because it's going to take everything we have being the best we can be to get this thing done today.
Let's bring in Tom Luganbill here. We got another former Colonel with us, and Tom,
you get in here in the
guys,
middle.
I didn't realize I'd be wearing one of these today.
Yeah, come on in.
Sir.
I figured I was on.
Well, we were talking about who are you. Well, you know what this team is. Obviously, you guys, your son plays for the team, and you've seen them throughout the season kind of go through the ups and downs that we've had this year. Obviously, when you play at Louisville, when you play at Marshall, it's a different type of atmosphere, different type of game. We really need that type of atmosphere here tonight or this afternoon to take on Tarleton State.
Well, before you get into that, let our listeners and viewers know.
You think he needs an introduction? I just brought him in.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It's always nice to let people know when we have a celebrity, celebrity in the house.
Well, I transferred here after my junior year, played my senior year at EKU in '95 under Roy Kidd. We ended up losing in the playoffs. Our last game was against Montana. That team ended up winning the national championship, beating Marshall at that time at Marshall to win the whole thing. And, you know, it's interesting what a change of scenery. You know, I make that transfer and you know, I was very fortunate. I was a 4-year starter in college football at 3 different schools. So I had a lot of different experiences. But you know what? There's a guy standing right over there that was in my wedding party. My center here on that team, my son is named after him.
Oh, wow.
My son plays here. That gentleman was the best man in my wedding. So the life relationships that I have developed with this place and the people that I've known, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Jim Tenera, long-time defensive line coach, long-time coordinator here. His twin brother is my dad's best man in my parents' wedding.
Wow. Okay.
And that's how I came to Eastern, because the ties between Roy Kidd and my dad was a longtime college football coach, and then Al Tenera and Jim Tenera and this and that, and that's kind of how it worked out. And I sure am glad that it did. And, you know, for me in my profession in calling games and broadcasting, I don't get to attend these on a weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the ability to be able to come out here, because I'm on the Thursday night ESPN package now, calling games, it allowed me to come out here and be able to actually view an EKU game in person. I don't get the chance to do that.
Well, I was going to ask you, so now you're working for ESPN, obviously. You've been with them for how long?
Oh, going on 21 years.
21 years. So, and now you do color analyst during the season. You do a lot of high school recruiting stuff, too. So how did you get today off?
So it's kind of interesting. With my new schedule, I handle all my recruiting duties, but I do studio television on Monday, studio television on Tuesday, travel Wednesday, coaches meetings on a Wednesday. Then Thursday, I've got Sports Center at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., and then the game at 7:30. And then generally, I get up crack of the dawn and have to go up to Connecticut to do studio television on Friday, Saturday. Then I travel home on Sunday. So I'm 7 days a week.
Wow, okay.
And so I went to our bosses and I said, guys, I got to be honest with you, this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And I said, is there any way I could get a weekend or two off? And they gave me 4 different weekends to choose from. And they said, hey, pick 2. And I did. So I came for the Nicholls State, big win there. And then I was able to come for this one. And it's been great because that Nicholls State game was the first time I've ever seen my son play in a college game.
Wow. That's
so
awesome.
As a parent, that's awesome. And my profession, unfortunately, as great as it's been, I've missed a lot.
Yeah.
Just like coaches miss a lot.
That's exactly right.
But I love it, man. I love being here. I'm all about this. I'm a Warren Cleat Club member. I'm a Matter of Pride Boosters member. Always will be. Just love it to death.
Well, that was one of the reasons that we wanted to have on some of the coaches' wives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because people that come to the stadium, they look at the game and they look at the Saturday afternoon of playing and competing and this and that. But the preparation that goes into getting a team ready, the hours that those coaches spend preparing, just like in a broadcast, when Stephen A. Smith and the guys on Get Up and all of that come on the scene, they don't realize how early those guys come in.
Yep.
And for coaches' wives to sometimes just say, hello, babe, how you doing? As he comes in, grabs a shower, and heads out. It's interesting that you mentioned that because the world of athletics has so much of a demand on the individuals that's involved that it is unbelievable.
Well, the wives are the special people because, unfortunately, the dads don't get to take their kids to school. The dad's not there to pick up their kids from school. Dads are going to miss a lot of soccer practices and football practices. And like in my case, even in broadcasting, I saw my son play 4 high school games in 4 years.
That's
4, right?
That's absurd.
And so the superheroes are the wives. They are the mothers, and they're realizing that. And they realize that their husband's in the most bottom line business on the planet. Nobody cares who got hurt. Nobody cares what officiating call occurred. Did you win or did you lose? And eventually, if you don't win enough, you're going to get fired. And then you realize the trickle-down effect of that. That's not just the head coach, the whole staff and their families and their kids, and it's a lot.
Well, and you talked about, nowadays, one thing that has made it a little bit easier for you as well, and for folks around, if there's kids here that are coming from Florida, from Pennsylvania, their parents can't come to every game. The day and age of ESPN Plus and the streaming, where every game can be watched, is a huge benefit for folks like you.
I sit on Saturdays. I'm in studio up in Bristol, Connecticut from 3 p.m. till about 1:30 a.m. And I'm doing halftime between games, and then the fill between the last game and the next game, and then halftime, then we do a wrap-up show at the end of the night. And I literally have my little stand out, my kickstand, and I have it sitting right on the desk, and our 3 cameras are there. I'm sitting in the studio, and in between breaks, I literally have the game on ESPN Plus watching it. It's awesome. It's great. The access to it's fantastic.
Well, and what we do here, obviously we're here today, but we do the same thing for high school football.
Right.
We're doing it for for Madison Central, Southern teams here. And again, it's just when parents having to go out of town for traveling for work and those things, it is an added feature that in the last, honestly, since COVID has really kind of exploded and kind of taken over the world, because now you're seeing even obviously the colleges were ahead of it, but now all these high schools are working with streaming companies and things to get their games out there. And it's a big deal because you might have grandparents that can't come out to the games. And even on a high school game on a Friday night, it gets cold. Now it's finally getting cold here in Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. But, felt like summer lasted forever.
Yeah. Finally, last night was the first time where it felt like we were in an October football game. But, those grandparents that can't come out on a cold October night can stay home, stay warm, and watch the game.
Watch it on their phone.
Can you imagine what that makes them feel like, to be able to sit in their living room and watch not only their son, but their sons, grandsons, and granddaughters in the various activities that they're involved in? Because every level of sports, every sport has access now to streamlining, and it's amazing.
Well, you've got people that you want to get over and talk to. We won't keep you too long, but just the importance of this game. Obviously, homecoming, a big deal. But we know after the loss last week, it kind of puts us behind the 8 ball. I think today, I mean, we called it a must-win 2 weeks ago against Austin Peay. We can't lose again if we want to have a chance at the postseason.
Yeah, listen, I think, and going back to when we first got on, and you were asking about, playing Louisville, and you, it's hard when you are a developmental program like programs are at the FCS level, and you come out of the gate with a top-heavy schedule, and you have a young team. So, for example, Tarleton State's coming in here today. They have 49 seniors, okay? You know how many Eastern has? 20.
So,
Okay, so that matters. And so as you grow and you're trying to elevate and you're trying to develop, and this isn't just exclusive to, say, Eastern or FCS schools. Like, you look at the SEC right now. LSU can't block anybody on offense. And they got 2 true freshmen on the right side. They replaced the first rounder on the left side. Well, they're not immune to it either. When you're a developmental program and you're having to play redshirt freshmen or redshirt, more than likely those guys aren't ready to play, right? That's not necessarily the same up at the FBS level. So I think the growing pains that this team has had are largely in part because of the youth up front. And that has a trickle-down effect because it affects the quarterback. It affects the timing in the passing game. It affects staying ahead of the chains and avoiding negative plays in the run game and getting an obvious passing situation. So it all plays together. And fortunately, EKU has been really good on defense. And when you're good on defense, defense travels. Defense gives you a chance to stay. And we've already seen that throughout this year. They've got to get some explosive plays, find some rhythm in the passing game.
Exactly.
Now, I will say this. And I think I looked at Tarleton and I looked at Austin Peay, and they're not all that different. The difference is the schedule. Tarleton played Portland State. They're awful. Chattanooga, below average. Who was the other one that Mississippi Valley State, awful. So the schedule's a little skewed too. They don't have a Louisville and a Marshall on there. And so, we'll see how it balances out. And again, listen, Eastern plays well at home, but they got to figure out how to get it done on the road. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and I think today when you talk about a key to the game, I was looking at the line intel with sports betting taking over the world now too. That's obviously a thing. We know the negative things that came out this week about that stuff. But when you look at this game in particular, 60.5 points is what Vegas has the total as. If it gets anywhere close to that, I don't know if we have a chance.
Correct.
We've got to keep this at a low-scoring game because we can't win a 35-31 game. We've got to keep this game in the 20s for us to have a shot at winning it. And I think it's going to be a case where if that is the case, if it goes over the total, Eastern's going to have struggle today.
Well, and that Vegas total is probably not so much a prediction of a 38-31 type of deal. They're looking at 45-14, right? And so – And that's fine, but, Eastern's also had this team's number. And I think they know what to expect from them. They know what they're all about. They got a good feel for them. But that immaturity on offense is hard because you're right. It's prevented them from getting the necessary production and the lack of consistent scoring that you need to have. You get just a little bit of that with their defense, they got a shot.
Yeah, well, and we have at home – we've shown the ability to score in other ways with the special teams, with the pick 6 from Vito 2 weeks ago, the fumble recovery that was returned 2 weeks ago. So we're creating turnovers. Tarleton State doesn't turn the ball over a lot, so that could be a key today.
I think if the Colonel team that played Austin Peay shows up, I think we can do this.
It's going to be a heck of a football game.
We were not that team in North Alabama. I mean, just from looking at the guys, and you know what I'm talking. You both of you know what I'm talking about.
There was no juice.
You can look at guys and tell sometimes when they're ready. And you can look at guys sometimes and when you think they better stay the heck out of our way. You can tell it, man, and it just wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
Do you think last week could have been a potential look-ahead situation? Now, I know we're dealing with kids, and Coach talks about the immaturity, which when you know it's homecoming next week and you've got the number 3 team in the country, you're playing a 1-5 North Alabama team. Could that have been a situation last week? I wanted to ask Coach that, but the coach speak things. But I think that could have been a situation last week.
I think it's not only possible, it's likely probable, but really Tarleton State doesn't have anything to do with it. It's that opponent. What happens is, and this is human nature, and especially the younger and more immature you are, you look at a team on film and you look at their record. Now we're gonna, we're gonna beat these guys.
That's exactly right.
These guys aren't.
And that's where you're making mistakes.
And then that's your mindset the whole week. So now you've lacked focus, you've lacked intensity, you've lacked preparation because you think it's going to be easy, right? And to be honest with you, Tarleton State right now is probably going, who are we playing this week?
Yeah.
Are we playing that team that just beat Austin Peay?
Yeah.
Or are we
That's true.
playing that team last week that was 1-6?
Yeah.
Right? And so that psychologically, that's real, man.
Yeah.
It is. And it's hard for young kids to not get in that funk because they start to believe it. It's the same thing.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Exactly. And it's just like when everything's going well and everybody's patting you on the back and telling you how good you are you capable of handling that and still playing well?
Well, you've got a son on the team, and Howard, you're around the team a lot. What do you guys know? I mean, have you guys talked about, the vibe around the team following that loss going into today?
Well, let me say this, and then I'll let you do it. One of the worst cardinal sins in sports, period, is when you let your opponent determine the intensity by which you play.
Yep.
I don't care if we're playing Aunt Nancy's sewing team, Uncle Buck's driving school.
Yeah. Yep.
We play according to our ability.
Our standard.
It was not our fault that somebody scheduled and put those guys in front of us.
Yeah.
We're not backing off because of what the billboard says who we're playing.
Yeah. But again, the question about how the vibe around the team. Have you talked what's your son saying
I
about
try not to get too involved in that element with him. I did, I checked in with him at the game. I said, what was the locker room like? And he said, not good. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I wouldn't expect it to be good. Exactly. And I said, because I think more than anything else, there's a disappointment.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one thing where you're like, oh, we lost, that sucks, right? There's a disappointment because for all the things that you just said and I just reiterated. And so I talked to him on Tuesday, and I said, what's practice been like? Because practice is the indicator.
Yes.
If you're losing guys in practice, guys aren't. Well, the interesting thing, are you guys familiar with the Catapult GPS systems?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The heart rates and things.
Yeah. So and what they also do is they determine output, effort, right? How much are you straining?
Yep.
And they give you a baseline. Everybody has their baseline, and they tell you, are you operating at your baseline, below your baseline, or above your baseline? Best 2-day GPS output of the season was this week.
Wow.
Right? And so I thought, wow, okay, good. So I think Walt feels
not
like
giving up.
Yeah, Walt feels like the kids in the thing. We just said it. Listen, they're playing Tarleton. You want to go out and play Tarleton, right? But that's the issue. You can't let North Alabama being 1-6 determine which standard you play to.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happened.
Well, Tom, we'll let you get back to it. We appreciate you coming by and talking to us. You can catch this guy on ESPN all the time. So you'll be back at it this Thursday. What do you know what game you have this Thursday?
I've got Tulane at UTSA on Thursday night. Yep, on ESPN. Yep.
Well, thank you for stopping by, sir. We've got a lot more to get to, folks. It is homecoming here. If you're out and about, even if you're not an alumni, if you didn't go to Eastern and you're just looking for something to get into today, EKU and Tarleton State, a really good football game on tap at 3 p.m. You can get your tickets now at EKUsports.com or get them over here at the gate when you come in the door. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break because we've got a lot of guests lined up for us today. We'll talk to more of them when we come back on the EKU Game Day Show.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Cub Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Founded by Kentuckians for Kentuckians, Whitaker Bank is a uniquely Kentucky bank committed to the communities it serves. At Whitaker Bank, you'll find personalized service, a dedication to excellence, and a genuine desire to help you achieve your financial goals. Visit us at any of our conveniently located branches or go to whitakerbank.com to learn how Whitaker Bank can serve you. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, two things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
We're back here on the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller, and Cuz, tell you what, man, you got the guests lined up. You know, guys, I was talking about when we first came on the air that when I'm hanging out with Howard, I thought I knew some people, but I don't know if I've ever been anywhere with him or hung out with him where somebody didn't know Howard Miller. And Cuz, you got another guest here with us lined up to talk to us here on Homecoming Saturday.
One of my buddies from Cincinnati, Ohio, came down here, stepped on the field, doing two things: running that mouth and shutting down receivers.
All right.
He was doing both of them, man. He was Roy's worst nightmare, man. But I tell you what, buddy, this was one of the best shutdown corners that I've ever seen
fix your headset. There
take the field. Anthony Miller from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's now intricately involved in Little League sports over in Lexington, and has for how long you been doing this, Smoke?
35 years.
35
wow.
years, man. Can you imagine the young men and women, cheerleaders, players that have gone through these programs whose lives have been impacted by the effort that this guy and KT and different
KT
ones
Smith.
have done. KT Smith. Tell us about some of the things that you're doing, Smokey.
Well, we down here selling candy. We take them to Gatlinburg every year.
We bought some candy from them. We used to the candy bars.
And because of the things I went through in life, I could relate to a lot of the kids. It's a lot of single parents, and male and female. And I know what Roy Kidd went through now dealing with me, but
no, he
ain't that bad, is it?
He's not going into it deeply.
Well, you know, listen, I dabbled in this past spring coaching a little little youth football league team here. It's crazy. At that age, it makes you want to pull your hair out. I mean, it does. But you don't realize what kind of impact you have on some of them, because you're right. I mean, there's some that they come from different backgrounds, and there's some kids that, you know, you get them at that level, at that age, you could start something for those kids and give them something to kind of believe in.
Right. You know, what helps me is I love when they come back and the things they've accomplished in life. As, you know, some of them doctors, lawyers, and other things, you know. It's a beautiful feeling, you know, to do that. And I don't mean to joke about it, but I know the hell I caused Roy Kidd because I was from the inner city, and you know, my mother was, you know, and my dad he wasn't in my life, so I met family down here with my friends, you know, Stan Mitchell and all of us. And we all, you know, we was a family. I don't care how old we get, we always make a point to see one another. If it ain't nothing for this game.
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said you're dealing with the youth football league there in Fayette County. We've got people that watch our show from all over. Talk about where they can go to get more information. If somebody's seeing this, they want to get involved. Maybe they want to donate some money to what you all are doing for a great cause over there in Lexington.
Well, we're the Martin Luther King Broncos. He's a Bronco fan, the guy I coach with, KT Smith. And like I said, we down here doing that, but we go through Park and Rec. And like I said, every year we take them to Gatlinburg. Not so much for the football, but just take them and they go shopping. And, you know, some of them have money, some of them don't.
Yeah.
And we go in our pockets, you know, because, you know, God's blessed me. And so I'm trying to give back, you know, because there's still a lot of single kids. And like I say, I don't know Coach KT's address, but I will get back over here and bring a card. And, you know, if you make donations, like I said, we We selling the candy just to get them there.
If you're here today and you're seeing our show, go find one of these kids. They're walking around. They got their backpacks on with the candy bars in there. And it's $2 for a candy bar, and it's for a good cause. Even if you don't want to eat the candy bar, help support these kids and do their thing. And make sure to get back over. We can get that information out.
Is Jack French still over Parks and Rec or with Parks and Rec?
I don't know if he's still with them, but played at UK.
She was there for many years.
She's
Jack
still
French. I didn't know if
she
got
a sister too.
Gwen.
Yeah, they still with Park and Rec.
Is that a combination there?
Yes, because I think they close. One of them's my age. I don't know which one of them is.
Well, they're a little older than you. We came in together as freshmen,
and
so they're a little bit older than you.
Randall Burbage's brother. He's over he's over sports.
I remember Jalen played here. Is that kin to Jalen Burbage that played here? Went to Cincinnati from Bryan Station High School and played here. That name sounds familiar. So.
No, one of them went to UK.
Okay.
They're from Lexington, but one of them went to UK.
Okay.
Randall Burbage went to Western, and Cornell Burbage. That's what Cornell played at UK.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and like I said, all of us being ex-football players, Burbage has done a great job with the program. Not only football, but just in sports in general.
Well, you still went to school with Cuz here?
Yeah, I went with him.
You got any good stories about him?
Look here, Mike. We are running short on time. So look,
and this is my brother. My last name is Miller too. So
not gonna get anybody in trouble, right? I appreciate it. Yeah.
But I'm proud of him being a pastor, though. Yeah. I really am.
I tell you what, we always give each other a hard time, and obviously getting to know Howard the last couple of years. I've not heard anybody say anything bad about him except his nephew, Chris. That's the only one and he said that he was a better cook than you. That's the only thing he said, Howard. He said he was a better cook than you were.
He said he was a better cook.
That's what he said.
Yeah, well, he and my son Derek and my other son Sam, they want to take the baton, but I handed them a stick. I didn't give them the baton. So they think that's fine because as long as I let them continue to think that, they'll continue to cook.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some more ribs today at some point. We got some jambalaya over there they brought to us.
But I will say this: his brother can cut hair real good.
Okay, all right.
That was my only barber in 4 years.
Miller's Barbershop.
Now we'll say that.
We appreciate you coming on. Let's take another commercial break. We got more people to come on as we get you set for EKU and Tarleton State, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the EKU Game Day Show.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor, on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi, local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
Well, welcome back into the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller. Howard lining us up some guests today on a beautiful, well, I say beautiful. It's a beautiful day for football. It is a cold afternoon here at Roy Kidd Stadium. Still a couple of hours away from the kickoff between number 3 ranked in the country, Tarleton State, and your EKU Colonels. A great opportunity for EKU to get another big victory here at home, Howard, and we appreciate all of those folks tuning us in and that are already here tailgating, getting ready for a big game today here at Roy Kidd Stadium.
Yes, sir. And we have another one of our all-time greats from Lexington, Kentucky. He came in. Was you and Smokey in the same class?
Same
you guys
class.
were? You know,
74.
Coach Kidd had, I think, before the group that I came in with, myself excluded, but we had John Revere, we had Elmo Boyd, we had several guys that were an excellent recruiting class. And the 74 group that you guys came in with was one of those blockbuster classes. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Stan Mitchell from Lexington, Kentucky. Now you're residing up in what, Indianapolis?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yes.
How you doing, Stan?
Doing very well. And, just to come back down here and just the atmosphere.
Well, when we talked last year, the vibe had kind of changed with the team for the good. We were kind of heading down the stretch, winning a couple of games. Today, the vibe is not as good where we want it to be. After that loss last week to North Alabama, but a great opportunity today for the team as they welcome in, Tarleton State. You win today, you kind of put the country again on notice that, it's been an up and down kind of season, but the ups have been very, very high for this EKU program this year.
Yes, exciting to see and, just to get back into it.
Yeah.
Just to rub shoulders with some guys that, have been around for a long time supporting the program.
Yeah.
And we have to keep that going.
Well, and I think that's what makes EKU special. You see the Warren Cleek Club, the Matter of Pride boosters, the things that Walt Wells has taken, being here under Coach Kidd and knowing what the legacy there was, and then turning it into the new age of college football. I think it's important to have a guy like that here that understands the history, but also understands we're moving into a new era.
Yes, and it's that culture
you're
just talking about, and him being under Coach Kidd, which just was a fabulous man and then a great coach.
The energy, I think, is one thing that kind of helps set the university and the football program apart. And I think the alumni like yourself, like Howard, guys that understand what this university and what this program used to be, I think that's kind of what we need to remember today, because it's not going to be an easy task. It's not going to be just the guys out there on the field getting the job done. We need the crowd support today as well.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. And, just to come in the stadium and look up and see all the years.
Yeah.
All the banners.
Makes all the difference in the world.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So, and Howard, he was kind of one of my mentors.
Man.
Yeah.
We go way back. Yeah.
Again, we're going to censor what we talk about. The statute of limitations don't run out on some things, man. So let's.
Hey, but here's the good thing. Them iPhones, them cameras weren't around back in the day. That's the good thing, right?
You know what? If they had that kind of technology then, we would have probably had to recruit soccer players to play football, man.
But,
Lord have mercy.
But those are stories, though. And that's memories. And listen, we all do things. Everybody. That's just part of being and growing up,
Yes.
But when you are a college athlete, and nowadays, again, the expectations are there. There's things that go into all that. You got to be it's a very strict time now, whereas back then you can get away with a heck of a lot more.
And one of the things, just like Stan said, piggybacking on what he was speaking about concerning Coach Kidd, was that with all of the personalities, and it wasn't just us, it's all over the country, everywhere, when colleges and universities bring in a multitude of individuals, personalities, attitudes and backgrounds, because everybody came from some place where they were somewhat special.
Yes.
When you came like we did then to O'Donnell Hall, that place where we all lived, grew together, and somewhat learned each other and developed a chemistry of love. And then when we would go to practice, Coach Kidd had an excellent staff that knew exactly how to bring all of those personalities, all of that chemistry into one force that he managed to successfully give us the idea we've got something to be proud of. That's not just a slogan. That was a earned concept that was put together by a guy that recognized that you can have all the talent in the world. And there's guys out all across the country that have excellent talent, but they don't have that pride. That pride, because pride can be that 12th man.
That's right.
Pride.
When you look at the game today, and Tarleton State obviously is a great football team, but I think one of the things that makes this place special is we win games like this. I mean, we won 2 weeks ago. It was the same kind of scenario. Obviously, Tarleton State and Austin Peay are different. Tarleton ranked number 3 in the country now, but it's an even bigger opportunity to go out there and do something special. And on a day like today where it is homecoming, where you've got all these fans there, don't maybe come back to campus like we do, Howard, like we're here all the time. That's why the opportunity today is so special, because of what could happen. It may not happen, but there's an opportunity there to go out there and do something special.
Yes, that's very good that you say that. And we had that when we stepped on that field. We just knew we were going to win. No matter what.
And then that goes right back to that pride thing.
Yes.
And I remember one of the best Ohio Valley Conference teams ever assembled was when Western, in 1973, I believe it was, they had one of the best teams in the country. In the country, period. Clarence Jackson, John Embry, running backs, man, they had a whip. But yet, like Stan is saying, when you have the right mindset, you feel we can beat anybody. We can beat anybody. On any given Saturday, we can beat anybody.
Absolutely. And then you wear these.
That's right. That's
you got yours on too?
That's right, man.
So,
and I tell people all the time that, I started being team chaplain with EKU's basketball team under Coach Travis Ford. I think they say it's about 25 years ago, whatever. I don't wear, and Stan doesn't wear that as bling.
Right.
It's pride.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pride, man. This is my ministry. I was a team chaplain before I was a pastor. This is pride. It's not trying to, impress nobody with nothing. No,
you're
man.
proud of what you did. I mean, you put some work in, you did your thing, and you got something to show for it. So I think everybody can appreciate that, too.
Exactly.
Well, it's EKU, it's Tarleton State. Huge game today. We're right around just a little bit over 2 hours away from the kickoff, 3 p.m. start. There was a little bit of rain that was supposed to be hitting the area this morning. That's come and gone, I believe. So we are in the clear there, but dress warm. If you're looking for something to get into today, folks, be sure to come on out today. EKU against the number 3 ranked team in the country. I was actually looking last night. Tarleton State has the second best odds to win the FCS championship behind North Dakota State. So take all that into account. An undefeated football team, even if we were to go on and not be able to make the playoffs ourselves, we have something today that we can kind of stamp our season on.
Exactly.
So that's the opportunity that lies ahead for EKU today. So we appreciate you coming by. Sarah, I know Cuz has got some more guests lined up. Don't give that football back to him. I'm afraid he'll fumble it. So don't give it back to him before we
He's all right. He's okay until we have guests. He's worse than Greg Stottlemyre.
Well, listen, we got a lot more to get into. Don't go away. We'll be right back on the EKU Game Day Show.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Code Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Founded by Kentuckians for Kentuckians, Whitaker Bank is a uniquely Kentucky bank committed to the communities it serves. At Whitaker Bank, you'll find personalized service, a dedication to excellence, and a genuine desire to help you achieve your financial goals. Visit us at any of our conveniently located branches or go to whitakerbank.com to learn how Whitaker Bank can serve you. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, 2 things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
Well, welcome back into the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller. We got another special guest with us, and you'll see his better half, or maybe his worst half. I don't know. It may be on the depending on what the day is.
You better be careful with that one.
You'll see her on with us quite a bit. We got John Burford here. John, I mean, first of all, we know you got a great relationship with Walt.
Yes.
And when you talk about coming off that loss last week, no disappointing, but there's such a great opportunity here today to do something special. Even if, again, we don't go in and make a postseason run, a win today would be huge for the program as we move forward and try to regroup to close out the season.
Yeah, I agree. Last week's one of those weeks that, sometimes you just don't show up.
Yeah.
You can do all the preparation in the world, not speaking for Walt, but or Coach Wells, but, it just sometimes that happens. It's how you recover, how you come back. And, I think talking to him this week, I think they've had some good practices, and he'll have them ready to play. Now they got to go out there and get after it.
Yeah.
Play. If they can't get excited to play the number 3 team
exactly
in the country and come up here where it's cold, it's not this cold in Texas. So maybe all the negative things that have gone against Coach Wells and his staff and his team, maybe today's the equalizer and we pull off a big win, and that's my hope.
Well, Howard, when you look at the opportunity that lies ahead today, it's a very special thing to have it on homecoming, because if this was just a normal Saturday, that maybe the fans aren't as juiced as they would be for a homecoming game, where, again, there's some people that are coming in that don't come to the games as often as they may have an opportunity to do so.
Well, just like Johnny was saying, if the coach has to come in and try to get you fired up through his pregame speech in order to get you ready to play, there's a problem. When you have a homecoming game like this, the setting is all in place, everything that you could ask for, beautiful day, an opponent that you could have a statement game today, because like you said earlier, Mike, this could make a statement that could last for the rest of this season and take us into next season. So all of the pieces is in place for this to be a special homecoming day.
And, John, you said you've been around EKU football since you were 8 years old. So, and you've seen a lot of great football here, and I think we've had our ups and downs this year, but there's still a lot of really good, talented players out there on the field for Coach Wells.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Their defense from a couple years ago to now is just tremendous.
Yeah.
And the offense, you just got to get it going. It's just, hopefully today's the day it clicks. Talking about crowds and stuff, I think it's been very impressive this year, the crowds we've had. I think there's tons of interest. But, I've been around for a long, long time. I was a little boy watching Howard when he was a young man too. So, he's not as young as he once was either. So I used to stand over behind the bench here. I used to stand over behind the bench, and Howard, I think, reminded me a time or two of a picture where me and Mark Kidd were behind the bench over where the student center is now. So I go back to sneaking under the fence to get in, to run out on the field and act like I was going to play here one day, and that never happened, of course. But, I've been around, and, I went away to school, came back in 82, gave Coach Kidd a car to drive for 25 years, and had a great relationship with Coach Kidd. I've had relationships with the other coaches, and been on a lot of recruiting trips with Leon Hart, Pete Correo, Jim Tenera. I bring a lot of names. I was fortunate to be back for the last couple runs they made in the semifinals and in the finals in 81-82 when they won it 2 out of 4 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of good football, and I think we have a really good coach that, in today's world, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
And at this level, you got guys that play really good, and then all of a sudden you go from having an asset to all of a sudden it creates a liability because now somebody they come in and pluck him out of here. So, and Coach Wells is aware of that. So, you just got to develop kids and try to bring some portal kids in. But I've been around the difference in when I was a little kid watching the Wally Chambers, the Howard Millers, the Myron Guytons, all the Lorenzo Fields, all the Elroy Harris. All the people I've watched play. To today's world, it's not even the same game.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's something the athletes are entirely different. And that's the thing too. We talked about it early on this year doing the show. The schools like a Florida Atlantic or a Florida A&M or the smaller schools around Pennsylvania, those schools hadn't become a thing yet, and now they're getting the 3rd and 4th tier players out of a Pennsylvania or out of a North Carolina, out of a Florida. That back in the day, Eastern was able to pluck away.
Right.
Now they're able to stay in state and still kind of play at an FCS school or a smaller FBS school. And that kind of creates an issue as well.
The thing about that, when you're in a state like Alabama, Georgia, Florida, those guys have so many top flight athletes.
Yeah.
That the ones that don't go to Florida State, don't go to Miami, don't go to Florida, that go to some of those second-tier schools, you're getting some athletes that's out of this world.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes if guys are not aware of that, when they think of Northern Alabama or a Western Georgia, they might think in terms of maybe like a smaller school in Kentucky as relating to being, that
home.
second tier or whatever. It's not like that, man.
No,
you go
it's
up
hard.
in Pennsylvania and places like that, and those second-tier schools, man, they are outstanding.
They are.
So in today's world, we probably wouldn't have ever seen Elroy Harris or Myron Guyton or all
we
those
wouldn't have
guys.
seen Wally Chambers. We wouldn't have seen Mike Nicholson. We wouldn't have seen James Crudup, Alfred Thompson, none of them. And not that those guys didn't have the academics, but Coach Kidd had such an air about what he was doing. There was guys that had bigger opportunities, but they wanted to play for him. They wanted to play for him.
Well, go ahead.
And I was going to tell you, Coach Kidd had, Jim Geist down there that was a connection in Florida and knew a lot of people, and he would give him kids that he thought could help him. And I've kind of not I have, but Coach Wells has kind of developed the same. He's got some really young kids on this team that are redshirted or they're second-year freshmen right now. I've been with him in Florida I don't go recruiting. That's not legal.
Colonel Walk's coming through.
But yeah, I've been with him recruiting. He's got some good kids coming.
Yeah, he does. Well, one thing I was going to say before we let you go, you got to take advantage. When we get a Parker McKinney or a Maddox Marcellus or, Brady Hensley, you got to come and support them while they are here.
Yes.
Because that could make a big difference in them staying. But if it doesn't, you want to come and watch these kids play while you've got the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And, it's not just your Michigans and your Ohio States and Florida's that's picking off kids from our level.
No.
There's a lot of mid-range schools that have the money that can snatch one up in a moment, in a hot moment.
Well, while the Colonel Walk is coming through, we'll pause for a moment, Gage. We'll just turn our attention over to the Colonel Walk. We'll take a commercial break. When this is over, we'll come back and close things out on the EKU Game Day Show.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi. Local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
We're back on the EKU Tailgate Show. Howard Miller, Michael Watkins. Man, what a great day to be a Colonel football fan. And just an EKU fan. I mean, it's homecoming. You're seeing all these folks come back. And, you know, a lot of these folks over here in the RV area, they're here every Saturday when we're at Roy Kidd Stadium. But when we walk through, like, the alumni area, when you see folks that, again, don't come to every football game. They don't come back to Richmond a lot. That's kind of what makes this day special, Howard.
It does. It does. Homecoming. I can remember as a kid, and I've often alluded to it, man. Me and some of my buddies, we would come up here early after the parade. We would come right on straight to campus, man, and just we would go to the stadium, as Johnny was talking about, you know, going under fences, sneaking in the game, and we would go in, then come back out, go over into Todd and Dupree Hall, in the 11th floor stairwell and just sit there in the stairwell watching homecoming unfold in front of us, and then go back down, go back into the stadium. And it was again before ESPN, before television was what television grew to be, and having a university in our community was special because we had sports, we had athletes, we had so much going on that it just grew to be a part of the landscape, and we see the effects of that right now.
Yeah, and today, I mean, when you know, I'm excited to see some people I used to play basketball with in this building. Now it's the the Erdman Center. It used to be the rec center. I spent more time in here than I did in class when I was going to EKU.
Let's don't even talk about that.
But I mean, just the days of walking through campus and seeing all your friends and family. And this guy right here hired me about 13 years ago, and I'll never forgive him for that. But here we are now, 13 years later. And it's just, when you see the changes in campus, I mean, when I talked to Steve Greenwell with Alumni Services a couple of weeks ago, that's one of the things that's so cool is you can come here now. They do campus tours during this weekend. You have the Colonel Corn Roast, which has been, a decades-long tradition. It is so special to have Eastern Kentucky right here in our backyard. And,
it is.
We've got whether you're an athlete or whether you're just a student, being here is special. The maroon and white, the history of it, it's a special place to be. And seeing all your friends and family that became family when you were at the university. I've still got people that I talk to. We used to have poker games at my apartment, and we would go to the paddy wagon, and just all the memories that kind of flood back when you think back to your days of being a college student.
I tell people all the time, I was on my way to being probably a doctor, lawyer, or a scientist that was going to solve the problems of the world, and I run into two ladies from Lexington, Kentucky, Jack and Gwen French.
After you were talking about them earlier, weren't you, right?
And I don't know. They love to walk up, but if somebody hears this, don't tell them I was talking about them because I love them to this day. We came together, and we were here for 4 years together, two of the best friends I have in this world. And I don't care if I don't see them for 10 years, when I do, it's on.
Oh, yeah. You picked right up where you left off, right?
You pick right up where you left off.
Yeah, I'll tell you somebody I got really close to. I know we're getting ready to wrap things up. Terrius Johnson was a basketball player. He played. He was on the team that lost to Kansas in the first round of the NCAA tournament. He was a senior on that team. And how an Eastern Kentucky kid and a kid from East Tennessee became friends. We used to play NBA 2K on my PlayStation till 2 or 3 in the morning. I mean, the memories you create with people that honestly you would have never met,
never would have crossed paths.
You never. I mean, the situations you end up in, the things you end up doing, it's special. And those are the things that make homecoming special because you come together, you relive those memories, and you create new ones on a day like today. And we're hoping the memory that comes from today is Eastern Kentucky beating the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's EKU
That's what it's about.
and Tarleton State. Kickoff is right at 2 hours away. We're getting ready to close things up. Man, Howard, so much fun today talking to some of these former players, talking to you, hanging out with you. We got 2 more of these,
yeah.
and we're hoping that today we have a lot to kind of celebrate and to enjoy as EKU takes on Tarleton State. For Gage Hill, he's Howard Miller. I'm Michael Watkins. Thanks to all of our great guests for coming on. We'll see you next time, folks, as EKU is back at home again. We're back at home next week, right?
I don't know. I don't even know.
We'll figure that out this week, and if we are, we'll see you next time on the EKU Game Day Show.
We'll see you when we see you.